Now, I'm no political scholar. I'm not well versed. I'm less versed in politics than I was 4 years ago. But it's not a surprise that I'm not pro Trump. I'm actually very anti Trump. I mean, do you really want a felon to be our president? That means that you would go into any federal prison, pick out a guy, and say, yeah, let's vote for him. It's basically the same fucking thing. Donald Trump had no political background. He was a rich guy in New York off of daddy's money. He was an actor. That's all he is an actor. He's also bankrupt, stole political documents, is a felon on 34 counts, a rapist, hates women, hates Mexican people. He hates, well, I wouldn't say he hates, but it's very obvious that he doesn't care about the black community. He very obviously hates the trans community. He does not like gay people, etc. Now, I saw a post today on Instagram saying, oh, do you really think us leftists are gonna vote for Kamala Harris? Yes, we are. They were encouraging people to not vote or to vote green. This is not France. We are not capable of having a political revolution just through voting, okay? The system is created in a way where we have to choose one out of two of terrible fucking things, alright? And I'm not saying that Kamala Harris is the worst. I actually much prefer Kamala Harris over a felon, and I mean ACAB, but Kamala Harris is definitely our best option here. And it stresses me out because no matter how many times I explain it to people, in Donald Trump's last days of presidency, and this is important if you're a trans person, if you were, sentient during this point in time, in 2021, in 2020, Donald Trump made it legal for doctors to openly discriminate against anyone they think or openly identified as transgender. Okay? They were allowed to discriminate against anyone they even thought was transgender, and that included denying them of any form of healthcare, and that included emergency services. If you were a trans person and you went to the ER, let's say Texas, Florida, and you were gonna die, and the ER doctor that saw you looked at your profile, saw that you were a transgender person, or they suspected you of being a transgender person, you got shot or some shit, and you were bleeding out, they could just say, I'm not doing this, and let you die. Okay, that is a real thing that could have happened. And in Joe Biden's, I think it was like his 6th day of presidency, he overturned that, which was pretty cool. But let's take a second to think about how that even got passed as a law anyways. Because it was passed. How did that happen? If we're such, if we are the land of the free, if we are a melting pot, why are we allowed to openly discriminate against people who are different? People who don't fit the norm, and people have, specifically conservatives have come to this idea that an American is a straight, white, conservative person. They're very selfish. All they want is what they want. They don't want to help anyone. They don't want to do what's good for the country. They just want, oh, we want our guns. We don't think women should have abortions. And that's basically it. That's basically like how I see the Conservative Party is guns, anti-abortion, alcoholics, a lot of people that love to use cocaine. I don't know. I don't know. It's really fucking annoying because American politics are we are a laughing stock to the rest of the fucking world. Another thing I would like to mention is the fact that Donald Trump had to meet with 2 separate dictators on 2 separate occasions because he can't get off his fucking phone enough to not personally offend a fucking dictator. So he had to visit those countries and personally apologize to them so that his country wouldn't get bombed under his rule and make him look bad. You know, and I think everything he does makes him look bad, but I really don't get the appeal. You know, I don't get it. And and if you want to state your reasons why Donald Trump is appealing in the comments, go ahead. I would love to hear the logic and reasoning and facts behind that. You know, that would be really hilarious. I mean, it would be very entertaining. And I think I hope my subscribers agree with me on this. And I mean, obviously, it's really no fucking surprise that I'm anti-Trump. And I hope people who are subscribed to me now don't unsubscribe because of my political opinion. I mean, it's whatever. It's your choice. But I am an openly trans person. It's not a surprise. You know, and I'm scared. You know, because a lot of millennials specifically, just think that not voting is like a good thing. I've seen it a lot. I mean, I've talked to so many dudes in like their mid-30s who are like, yeah, I don't like voting. I'm like an independent. Like, please, shut up. Voting is what this fucking country was founded on. Like, can we get with the program here? Like, come on. Like, it's not that hard to drive your ass to a fucking voting, to the polls. Pokemon Go to the polls, everyone. And fucking write it down on a little piece of paper, fill in that little bubble. It's not that hard. It's not that hard to just fucking vote. And even if you think, oh, they're both bad, that is such a stupid fucking take. Because each politician has policies. And each politician has the potential to stop ruining our country and running it into the fucking ground. Come on, people. Come on. It's not that hard. It's not that hard to use your fucking brain. And I mean, I get it, not everyone lives in Massachusetts where we have the highest, you know, IQ, but, I mean, come on, fucking infuriates me, it infuriates me, and we are getting stupider by the year, because self-proclaimed leftists in America, instead of, you know, worrying about the issues in our country where we live, they're screaming about shit that's happening on the other side of the war while pretending that the other war they were just screaming about doesn't exist anymore. Very cool. You know, I think the whole, you know, switching up from screaming about Ukraine to screaming about Palestine is really comedic because it just goes to show that it's a fad. It's a fucking fad. You know, caring about what's going on the other side of the world. Can we worry about what's happening in our hometowns? Can we worry about what's happening in DC? Can we worry about the psychos in this fucking country? Like what is happening? Why do we care so much about other countries when we are so close to living in a dystopian dictatorship? And you may say, oh, that's a really strong set of words you just put together right there. I mean, have any of you seen the clip where Donald Trump says that in an interview, he says that he will try his hardest to negotiate a third term? The guy wants to fucking suck Vladimir Putin's cock. Like, have you ever heard him talk about him? Oh, he's a great guy, Vladimir Putin, he is. You've had to have noticed it by now. Come on. You know, even when Donald Trump was in power, my parents were like, oh, Vladimir Putin, he's a pretty okay guy. And now, because Donald Trump is not in power, they're like, oh, Vladimir Putin, he's not the greatest guy. Like, what is going on? What the fuck is going on? I'm so confused. Because no one knows what the fuck they're talking about anymore. No one knows. And, by the way, I do greatly recommend this one YouTube channel, Woke Karen. He's a great guy. He really puts these political you know, he really just puts it together really well, talking about politics and what's actually going on within the American government. And you should really go check it out. Woke.Karen, I think, is just the username on YouTube and Instagram. But I love his content, aside from the whole fucking, you know, oh my god, Palestine, like, okay, what happened to Ukraine, though? I'm really pissed about that, because how can you claim to care about human rights and then just suddenly stop caring about one war over another? What was that about? Okay? And you can obviously see where I stand with this. Come on. Come on, people. Um, you know. But anyway, it's just so fucking infuriating. And the fact that I have to constantly listen to Fox News and Donald Trump's rallies on the TV downstairs, it's so much bullshit. Always, all they're doing is legitimately spewing lies and misinformation in order to anger their target audience. It's really just about angering their target audience, which are the conservatives. And it's fucking scary, because, you know, I'm not gonna get into it because this video is already getting a bit too long, but it's just, I have to fucking yell about this, because as tensions are rising, political tensions are rising in the United States, things are just getting worse, and things are gonna get out of hand. You know, I feel like this election year is going to determine whether the United States rises or falls within the next 4 years. So, yeah, I mean, you know, leave a like if you agree. Bitch and cry in the comments below if you don't, but that's just my opinion. Alright? I'm entitled to it by the Constitution. So, bye bye!